the weary, their lives a stirring testament to God's sustaining grace. Surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us run the race not only for the prize, but as those who've gone before us, let us leave two thoughts behind us, the heritage of faithfulness passed on through godly love. Come behind us, find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion find their way. May the footprints that we lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. After all, our hopes and dreams have come and gone, and our children sift through all we've left behind. May the clues that they discover and the memories they uncover become the light that leads them to the road we each must find. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion find their way. May the footprints that we lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all come behind us find us faithful. May the fire of our devotion light their way. May the footprints that we lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful. May all who come behind us find us faithful. Steve Green, find us faithful. And before that, we introduced to you a Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, what the heart of the young man said to the psalmist. And now let's remind ourselves of the usual observances. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 5th day of the second month of 2024. and other observances taking place at this time. The African American History Month, known as Black History Month, celebrated in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and elsewhere. Here in Jamaica, the month of February is Heart Month. It is also Reggae Month, and an opportunity for us to delve even deeper in our history and our struggles. In terms of the other observances of the day, as we said, it's Heart Month and Reggae Month, Black History Month. And this week is Restorative Justice Week, Inter-School Christian Fellowship, ISCF Week, and Students' Council Week, World Interfaith Harmony Week. It's Chama Chama Pinduzi Day in Tanzania, Dia de la Constitución, or Constitution Day in Mexico, the liberation of the Republic from the Alberoni occupation is being commemorated in San Marino, where they're also marking St. Agatha's Day. It's President's Day in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Unity Day in Burundi. Hoy es lunes, el 5 de febrero 2024. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi, le 5 février 2024, et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, d'une Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15. Not only for pride, but it's those who've gone before us. Let us leave to those behind us the heritage of faithfulness, passed on through godly love. Who come behind us, find lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faith.
All we are saying is it's Monday, the 5th of February, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
May the footprints that we lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Find us shed light their way. May the footprints that we lead them to believe, and the lives we live inspire them to obey. Oh, may all who come behind us find us faithful.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook in the search, in the search box. Type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat, there's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection, but more importantly, internet connectivity. One sure way of testing for connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, you're good to go. If not, you might have a little matter on your hands to deal with. How are you today? How was your weekend? How is this week looking? We're anxious to talk with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. The lines are open to you, 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 365 3346. What's on your mind this afternoon? Anxious to hear. Please feel free to share. And let's clear the messages that have been coming through since we started. So let's say hello and welcome. Who is this now? Let's see. Listeners everywhere just heard on the news that King Charles III has been diagnosed with cancer, quite different from his prostate, which he was hospitalized for a week ago. Hoping everything will work out well for him. Take care, everyone. Indeed, none of us wants to be in a situation which takes away from an active life. And so we wish all those who are having such issues well and a speedy recovery. Norman Hines says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Thank you very much for your message. Mario Thomas says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mario. Olga Hollingshead says, hi to you too. Olga Hollingshead, she says, Monday afternoon blessings, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and all the diaspora family and friends everywhere. Wishing you all a great day. Thank you very much. Same to you, Olga Hollingshead. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good afternoon, Velta Wilson. Kwame Sabbath Gordon says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Kwame Sabbath Gordon. And Angela, who is accustomed to being in Toronto, tells us it's good, sunny, and rainy Jamaica afternoon all. So that's how she's greeting us. Good, sunny, and rainy Jamaica afternoon all. Confirming that she's still very much in Jamaica, and it doesn't appear as if she's going back to Canada. She says, yes, Dervan, I'm still here, home. We can see that. Thank you very much. Lisa Brown Campbell says, a rainy day in Las Vegas, Dervan, but happy to be in class. Well, please stay dry and warm, and may you successfully ride out this storm, in a manner of speaking. Sherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great day. Good afternoon, Sherry Henry. Good to have you on board. Thank you so much for joining us, and all the very best to you. And we are going to check in with our text line and our WhatsApp number as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. That's the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. And let's see who is hitting us up now. Ambassador Michael Paul Brown has messaged us, as usual. Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Monday to you and your listeners. I just want to use this medium to extend my sincere condolences to the family of veteran broadcaster Alan Magnus, also to the Radio Jamaica family. I've had the opportunity to speak to him or speak with him on one occasion with regard to my community involvement. I always love to listen to his songs, including Flying Machine, What a Beautiful Day, among others. May his soul rest in peace, and light perpetual shine on him. Walk good, Magnot, from Clarky Bless in Huntstown, St. Mary. And we join you and the entire RG Arglina Communications group, our listeners, viewers from all over the globe. Our warmest regards, sincerest condolences, right across the board. Thank you, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary. And Angie has sent a message, or it's a link to the story carried earlier on about King Charles's diagnosis with cancer. James in East London has shared with us that story and others. And the story is Prince Harry is to travel to see King Charles in the coming days. So those are some of the messages and stories so far. In terms of the trending stories, according to the Jamaica Gleaner, we see a message coming in from Rohan as well. I suspect that's Rohan in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. Couple of stories trending. Jamaicans urged to take advantage of restorative justice, the restorative justice program. The Ministry of Justice is encouraging Jamaicans to take advantage of the benefits of its restorative justice RJ program, which seeks to heal. The RJ process is geared towards conflict resolution by providing an opportunity for all parties involved. And you've heard the story already. King Charles III has cancer and is receiving treatment. According to Buckingham Palace, King Charles III has been diagnosed with a form of cancer and has begun treatment. The palace says the cancer is not related to the king's recent treatment for a benign prostate condition. We're being advised that temporary traffic changes are to be implemented in Bull Bay, St. Andrew tomorrow, Tuesday. Traffic changes will be implemented along the Bull Bay Main Road to facilitate the official opening of the section of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project from Harbourview in St. Andrew to Yallas Bridge in St. Thomas. The National Works Agency, NWA, has advised that the changes will be in effect between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. So the closure of the westbound lanes towards St. Andrew between Bull River Bridge at Sugarloaf Hill and the Greenvale Road, Cane River Road intersection. The eastbound lanes from the Greenvale Road intersection at 9 Miles and Bull River Bridge on Sugarloaf Hill will be converted to two-way traffic. So those who are in the east, take notice. And another change is that the roadway towards 11 Miles will continue to accommodate two-way traffic. No changes in that regard. But the public is being advised to comply with the instructions given by officers of the Jamaica Constabulary Force manning the affected sections and road closure points. So that's another of the stories trending. And we give you one more, and then we look forward to your calls after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Crystal clear and sharp vision. Ultra Clear is a total natural herbs formulated to activate the adult replacement stem cells in your body, sending them to the eyes to repair the damaged cells. Take 1 teaspoon daily in hot water and watch the improvement in your vision. To get yours, call Hasco Herbs, 876-540-8871. That's 540-8871 or WhatsApp 533-0462.
Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-922-41125 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
Tune in every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. for Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM. It's your source of information regarding U.S. immigration matters, combined with Power 106 FM's pioneer of diaspora broadcasting. Call in with your U.S. immigration queries and concerns on 876-922-41125 or send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598 and get the answers you need for your U.S. immigration questions. That's Your Legal Corner with Daily Walker Huntington, Thursdays at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm, only on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to deal with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same for Land Solutions: 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's landsolutionsja.com. Facebook/landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. We're all being encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices, whether in Halfway Tree or in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. And there's an added service support on a Thursday between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. But right now, let's get ready for today's edition of Land Solutions. And let's say hello, good afternoon, and welcome to our host on Land Solutions this week, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Land Solutions. The number is to call 922-411-325 if you want to talk to me about any matter related to land ownership. And I want to start the program by expressing condolences to the family of Alan Magnus. As we know, Alan's wife was a colleague of ours here in Poe, and we take note of his passing and pray that God will grant grace to the family. Also want to take note of the passing of the Honorable Justice Dennis Morrison. Dennis was a lawyer of all lawyers. Taught me in law school. There's a movie some years ago called An Officer and a Gentleman. Dennis was a gentleman. He taught you how to treat people. So maybe I might not treat people very well sometimes, but many of the good ways in which I try to treat people, I got that from Dennis. Dennis was humble, was kind, was a consummate gentleman. And sometimes when persons pass that when you reflect, you recognize the impact they had on your life. And lawyers from different age groups who we taught over the 20 years will tell you about him. When Dennis did a CLPD session, that's the continuing education session that lawyers have to go through. You had to sit up and take notes. He was just so humble, so kind, so knowledgeable. Every good adjective you can use to describe Dennis Morrison. My sincere condolences to the family of Dennis. I'm not sure there's a sound, Dervan, as if the line is open. I'm not sure.
No.
Okay. All right, thanks. The number is to call 922-411-325, and remember the text line. You can send me a text message at 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. And I got 2 calls last week in relation to a similar kind of matter, which is something I wanted to address. In the situations, for example, a father bought a property and added 1 child to the property. The father died, but the father left a will within the property to all the children. But the child who is on the title is on the title with the father as a joint tenant. So the children came to the office now wanting to probate the will in one situation. But in situations like those, we need to recognize that when a party is on the title with the other joint tenant with another party and one dies, it goes to the other. So when the father died, the child who is on the title as a joint tenant is really the owner. If the children are insisting and that child is saying, I'm not giving you because I'm the owner, the child is in his or her right. But what you can do is you can take the matter to court for the court to decide whether or not the child was put on the title as a trustee. So this is a warning to parents that sometimes you say, and I get it sometimes first parents will say, I'm going to put 1 child on the title. The first question I always ask the parent is this your only child? They might say no, and usually they say no, I have other children, but this one will take care. And I say it's not a good idea. That child might be fine, but when you die, that child might change his or her mind. Or that child could die, and then the property is going to go to that child's spouse and the children alone. And the child might want the siblings to get it, but when that child has passed on, his or her spouse and children might say, we're not giving anything to auntie or sister-in-law and brother-in-law. We're not okay, so these are things we need to be cautious about. Don't just put a title in one name and say, oh, that one will take care. Sometimes it does not work like that. You want to add to the children, you want to transfer it to all of them, do it to all of them, or make a will and will it to all of them if you can't afford to put on all the names. And under the Special Provisions Act, whether you put it on 1 child or 10 child, it's the same price, the same fee, the same transfer tax. So those are things to consider. And a lot of times persons who live outside of Jamaica, they are buying property and persons will tell them, don't buy it in your name alone because the government will take it. It's not true. Buy it in your name alone. Don't put on the niece and the nephew because somebody tells you that the government is going to take it and you might not have a child. Buy it in your name alone if you are providing the funds alone and make a will. Government does not take person's property, doesn't go like that. Okay, property falls to the government if you don't have any next of kin, which means you don't have parents, spouse, children, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, grandparents. That's the only way the government would come in. And you can write a will to ensure that the government has nothing to do in terms of the disposal of your assets on death. Please remember, you can send me a text message. The text line is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. And remember, you can also send an email to Gloria at landsolutionsga.com. Gloria at landsolutionsga.com. I was talking to, I had a discussion last week as well. And what a client told me, because I was complaining that many of us, we buy property. You don't have any documentation, or you get property, or you just see a piece of property and others are getting a piece, so you take a piece. And we put up these multi-million-dollar structures on them. And a very, very, very nice client I have. Okay, a client who I've had, we have a very good relationship, and I was quarreling with her. How could you go and buy the property and just put up a house on it and you don't have any title? She said something to me that I found instructive. She said, Miss Brown, when you get a piece of land, it's a building call you. I've never heard that one before. The building call you when you get a piece of land. You have to build it. And maybe that was put a new understanding like that. Maybe I would stop quarreling with my time as I used to do. Because I didn't realize that building, that's when you get a piece of land, building call you to build. But I'm begging some of the clients, don't answer the call, please. When the building call you, don't answer it unless you sort out the title. Because we're having too many problems. Multi-million-dollar properties on land that one son sold you, and then the other sons and daughters come and say, but he never had the right to say we want that is land, and you're in problem. So not every call we need to answer. When they call you to build, I beg of you. Sometimes don't build until you sort out the thing. And as soon as you get a piece of land, whether you have bought it or you're given it as a gift, or you have been on it for some time, try and sort out the title before you consider building. Try and sort out that title. First thing you do is survey the piece of land. That's the first thing I'm going to ask my listeners to do. Survey the piece of land before you start anything. Because sometimes it's when you are surveying that you realize that sometimes the surveying is to test the waters, Because sometimes it's when you're ready to survey and somebody comes to object that you realize, hey, I need to take notice. Things are not what they seem. I need to take notice. So those are things that I would love for us to think about before we jump into building. Numbers to call 922-411-325. I think the silly may have addressed this text message from the other day, but I've seen it in my text message. I don't understand how an undated will can be valid if someone made a false will after the death of the person. But the false will has nothing to do with it being undated. Believe me, when people make a false will, the first they're going to make sure that it is dated. So we don't really worry about the undated and the false will, because when people making false will, they ensure that they cross every T and dot every I. So those are things that we need to be cautious about. If the dating is not one of the things that really challenges, the main challenge we usually have in situations like these. We're up on a break, and when we finish the break, then I will talk back to you about in terms of the dating of the will and why it's still valid. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions: 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. And all are encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. And remember, on a Thursday, a little extra on a Thursday, as far as the sale or purchase of land and advice are concerned. That's the special session from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon on a Thursday. So let's continue as we hand you over once again to your host on today's edition of Land Solutions, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Please remember the numbers to call: 922-411-325. 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. What's the best approach to bequeathing a property, land and house to a number of children? Not sure what you mean by the best approach, because bequeathing means you're going to make a will. So you can decide if you're going to give it to all of them as joint tenants, which means that if one should die, the other will get it. So whoever lives the longest will own it. Personally, I don't like that, because sometimes children have children and you want their children to be able to benefit.
Sorry.
I must apologize. I'm in my week and the rain is a little heavy, so I'm get out the vehicle.
I suspected so as well. Sorry, I was wondering at first.
Yes, sir. I can hear it on the vehicle, so I'm going to try to exit the vehicle.
Okay.
Which has stopped a little. So what I'm going to ask this person to do who sends the notice to discuss it a little with me, because I said you could will it to the children as joint tenants, but that means whoever lives the longest would get it, so it would only go to that child who lives the longest. You could give it to them as tenants in common, where each could have a share that they can will it whoever they want to will it. Or you could say the property is to be sold and the money shared among them. Or you can leave it just for one of them or two of them or three of them. So you might have to have a little talk with me, and I could ask some questions and then give you some guidance. But I'm glad that you're thinking of making the will. Very, very important. So I'm saying joint tenant means the one who lives the longest. And I always tell my clients to use the joint account. Remember, if you have a joint account and somebody dies, whoever is alive will own the money. Use that to remember the joint tenancy. Whoever lives the longest is going to get it. Tenants in common, each person will have a share that they can leave to whoever they want to leave it to. Or as I said, you could always say the property to be sold. You might say one child the proceeds shared equally after the expenses are paid. Or you could say one child is to get more than the other, etc. It gives you an option. But you can always call me even tomorrow when I'm in my office, and I could discuss it a little more with you. The text line 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. Okay, and this person is saying that they want to come to the Kingston office to discuss probating a will, which is very very important. And remember that even though there's no time period to probate, it's good if you can get the probate done within 3 years of the death of the person. Because if you wait after 3 years, then you have to do what we call an affidavit of delay to explain to the court why you took so long. But that it doesn't really affect the validity of the will. You can still go ahead and probate. Because if somebody died 100 years ago, you can still probate the will. It's just that the executors might not be around, so you might have to do something else, but the will is still valid. But we encourage our listeners, we encourage our clients to not to wait too long to deal with matters, but to deal with them as quickly as possible. And please remember that for those who cannot afford legal services, there's a legal aid clinic at the Bethel Baptist Church in Halfway Tree every Saturday morning between 10 and 12. Every Saturday between 10 and 12 at Bethel Baptist Church in Halfway Tree, there's a legal aid clinic. You can always go and get proper legal advice. I'm on at legal aid on the 9th of March. So that's when I will be on again, the 9th of March. I'll be down at the Bethel Baptist Church when you can come and see me. But there's a lawyer there every Saturday. You don't have to wait till the 9th because there are experienced, competent, excellent attorneys there to give you advice. Unfortunately, for some of you, you might say, but Ms. Brown, I live in St. Thomas or Westmoreland. Hush. I can only tell you about where I know it's available. But I'm sure there are other legal aid clinics around the place. It'd be nice if some of you will let me know if your church has one. So I can always encourage my listeners to go and take part, or to encourage my listeners to come in and visit at your clinic. So the numbers to call, as I said before, 922-411-325, 922-411-325. And I was encouraging my clients, my listeners earlier, that when you get a piece of land, survey it. We have seen how highways have been built all over the place. We have seen the recent one in St. Thomas. And I have seen persons who are complaining that the highway has taken their property and they have not got compensation. And when I've spoken to a couple of these persons and I asked, can I see the title? Send me a copy of the title. They don't have any title. It's family land or what we call generational land. It was grandmother's land or great-grandmother's land. The highway companies are going to compensate you for grandmother's land. Because what happened when they compensate you? What happened to the other 49 grandchildren? When they come for their share of the money, they're going to compensate all 49? And the great-grandchildren who say their parents have died? So we see the challenge. Which is why we're saying to persons, sort out the land situation, because so many of us are living in poverty and we have wealth. We're living hand to mouth, working hard. A lot of our relatives abroad, working 3-4 jobs and have expensive property in Jamaica. And we know that land values have gone up. And I'm saying to persons, protect your land. Protect the generational land, because when strangers come and try to take it over, they don't care that your grandmother was buried there. They would build a house on top of her grave because they have no loyalty to her like you would have because she was your grandmother. So I'm encouraging persons out there to go and look after the generational, to go and look after the family land and see how you can come together as a family to see, okay, maybe we might need to sell that piece, come together, get a title, sell it and sort out the money among the 50, 60, 70 of us. Or maybe we might say we're going to give it to that sister's children since they're a little less off than us, not as well off as they are. But let's talk about the family land. Let's protect it. And you have the land, and in order to prevent persons from squatting on it, how about planting some fruit trees on it? You can always, you might remove them later if you want to use the land, but the good thing with us in Jamaica is that when you go under any apple tree, the amount of suckers you see, any tree, even the new type of breadfruit now, when you go under this new type of breadfruit that has seeds, I don't know if everybody, if people all know about that one. There are so many suckers under those breadfruit trees these days because things have changed. So plant up things on the family land, because persons who want to take it over might be reluctant to go and cut down the pear tree and the mango tree, etc. But I've said on this program before, and I say it again, we're having a serious land grab in Jamaica. Persons are just in land, and because they know how valuable it is now, many persons are going and claiming your family land. So protect the family land, protect the old people's graves, fence the property, put a fence around it, even barbed wire, or pack some stones for a fencing, but do something to protect it. The text line 387-3183. 876-387-3183 is the text line. And remember, you can also send me a WhatsApp message to 876-387-3183. Need your advice. There's a property that is in front of my yard that has been abandoned for several years. I've been paying the property tax for about 7 years. I've tried reaching out to the owners to find out if I can purchase that, but to no avail. Now I see squatters coming in and out. How can I obtain the property if I can't find the owners? Well, the squatters know how to do it, so you probably should ask them. Okay, if you have been there cleaning it and etc. and paying the taxes, as I said before, you need to fence it and fruit it. Fence it and plant fruits on it. And exercise some kind of control, because that's exactly what others are going to do, and maybe what they put up in front of you might not be something that you want. You need to fence, exercise control, farm it, etc. Take some kind of control. Another text message. Good afternoon. I just want to know if a person appoints someone as their executors and the person dies, and then the executor dies, what will happen? If the executor has died and that executor made a will, then the executor of the executor can deal with that will. If you know nothing about the executor and the executor's executor, then one of the persons named in the will, one of the beneficiaries, one of the persons the estate was willed to, can apply to the court. You need to get the executor's death certificate and as well as the death certificate for the person who made the will. And then you're going to apply to the court for something we call letters of administration with will annexed. So the cause is not lost. You can easily deal with the matter. Get the executor's death certificate, get the death certificate of the person who died, and one of the person who the person who will the thing to can apply to the court, and that person will take the place of the executor and will deal with the estate and share according to, after getting the grant of administration with the will annex, then that person will deal with the estate. It's a little bit more complex than a probate in the executor world. It would be easier because now you're going to have to find all the persons who would have benefited from the estate. So suppose the person who died only left it for one child, you're going to have to get information on the other children because you're going to have to serve notice on them. Not that they are entitled to anything, but you still have to serve notice on them because you're not applying for probate. Only the executor can apply for probate. Because the executor is not alive, you're going to apply for letters of administration with the will attached to it. You're going to share according to the will, even though you're getting letters of administration. But if it's a little bit complex, you can always call me and get some more information on it. As I said earlier, what my client told me that when you get a piece of land, they'll then call you and begging all those persons, especially those abroad who are putting $50 million on a piece of land that they have got by word of mouth. Please survey the piece of land first and just send me a WhatsApp message. And all you have to say on the WhatsApp message is title. You don't have to say good afternoon, Miss Brown. Just say title and I will know what you want. I know you're saying good afternoon already, so you don't have to type that part. Just say title and I will know what you want. We're up on a break, I think. This is Land Solution.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
The February 5 off 50 sales event at Home and Things is here. Take $5 off every $50 you spend. Save big on the brands you know and trust. From beautiful Spanish and Brazilian tiles to exquisite bathroom fixtures from Sedosa, American Standard and Corona, stylish Moen and American Standard faucets, doors, windows, paints, and home decor treasures that inspires beauty and elegance. It's the February 5 off 50 sales event happening now in Home and Things, Old Hope Road and Constant Spring Road. Catch it while it lasts.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. Company. And it's time for us to hand you over once again to your host on today's edition of Land Solutions, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. And a text message, what is the difference between a survey diagram and a title? Two complete different documents. The survey diagram is just a drawing of the land, but it's more than just, because it tells you the size of the land, where the land is located, who your neighbors are, the shape of the land, the access to the land. It tells you a lot, it gives you a lot of information. And I want to remind listeners that after 7 years, the survey diagram expires. You don't have to do a new survey, but you have to get a surveyor to update the survey after 7 years if you don't get a title before. If you have a title, you don't need to be updating anything. But if you don't get a title and all you have is your survey diagram, you're going to need it updated every 7 years. So I encourage persons having got a survey diagram, move towards getting a title. So the survey diagram is prepared by a commissioned land surveyor, and it's pre-checked and approved by the survey department. And as I said, it tells the size of the land, the shape of the land, who your neighbors are, what parish it is in. It tells you the person who asked for it to be surveyed. It tells you the person who got notice that the survey was going to take place. Because when the surveyor is about to survey your property, he has to serve notices to the neighbors. So people can come and object and say, no, don't drop the text there because that mango tree is on my land, that's not on his land. So all of that is done when the surveyor is preparing the land, and then the surveyor gives you this diagram. And a lot of persons are sitting there and say, I have my survey diagram, so I'm good enough. That's not good enough. Because I could go and get a survey diagram after you and get a title before you. And when it comes to the title, we have something we call first in time is first in line. So if I get a title before you, I'm going to wipe out your ownership and wipe out your survey diagram. So when you're sitting down there at ease in Zion because you have a survey diagram, I might be sitting under the quiet getting a title, and then I'm going to defeat your interest. You're going to have to pay me to court now to prove that I committed fraud in getting my title. And the reality is that a lot of us cannot afford these court proceedings because it's expensive to take a matter, and that would be a matter in the Supreme Court. It's an expensive process, so be very, very careful, or you just sit down and be comfortable. Because my concern is that too many Jamaicans are comfortable because they are eating, they are sleeping, and they are going to work and coming home. So nobody troubles them about the piece of land until trouble starts. And then they realize I don't have a title, I'm in trouble, and then they run to this road and say, can I get the title yesterday? And these titles are taking more than a year for you to get them. So I'm begging persons to not send me a WhatsApp message, and all you have to do is say title, and I will give you the guidance how you need to get it. But please have a survey diagram in place. And what is the difference between the survey diagram and the title now? The title now is a document that is issued by the Office of Titles, the government guaranteed by the government of Jamaica. And that guarantee is saying we only have one title for that property, and nobody else can get another one for it. Sometimes it happens you have what we call dual registration. It doesn't happen more often, but it happens. But what happens is that this piece of paper you get is guaranteed by the government of Jamaica. that you are the owner. Anybody who wants to come and question your title will have to take you to court and prove that you got that title by fraud. So you're well protected when you have that particular title. You can walk into a bank with that piece of paper and the bank will lend you money as long as you qualify. You can transfer it to you can sell it and get more money than if you're just selling a diagram, because who's going to want land with a diagram when you could sell 100 people with the same diagram? People not protected, but when you buy what the person has a title, you're well protected. You can get more money for your land when you use a title. Okay, this person has sent a text message which is a little long. Please, could you advise me on the following? My wife's mother passed during the last quarter of leaving a half interest in a property. So there were tenants in common with her ex-husband who passed in 2017. The husband's family is in control of the property. I'd like to know the best way forward in getting my mother's half interest in the property financially. Please, could you call me to discuss further? All right. So you're saying your mother and her husband were tenants in common in a property. They both died. The property is being controlled by the husband's family. But because they were tenants in common, I suspect in equal shares. That means that a half was there for your mother or your mother-in-law. So what your wife needs to do is to come together with her siblings who say are not interested, but she can do it alone, and administer the estate for her mother, so she can get her name on the half, on the title for the half. When that is done, then what she needs to do is to just contact them and to let them know we want you to buy out our interest or we want to buy your interest. If the person is not agreeing, then what you need to do is to take the matter to court and get the court to order the property sold. Don't leave it for too long, because remember, if they occupy this place for 12 years, you're going to have a problem because they could claim it on the squatters' right. So you need to act now. Even though your mother just passed 2022, I'm not sure how long these persons have been living on it. So then just sending me the text message from England. So I don't know if your mother was living there when she passed, or if time has already started to run. Because I noticed the husband passed in 2017, so time might be running from then. Which means that we'll have gone with running to 7 years. So I would love to talk to you on that matter. Maybe you could give me a call tomorrow. And persons want to know what is the cost to start processing a title. It depends on where the property is located, because you get certain breaks, certain financial discounts depending on where the property is located, the size of the property, the value of the property, and of course the complexity of your matter. Some persons, their title situation is just straightforward. They have all the documents, they have the diagram, they have the documents to show the audit, they have the probated will. So we have to look at how complex your matter is. So not something you can just say, hey, a title costs $2. It's a little bit more than that. The numbers to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325. I just phoned my grandmother's will. She passed away about 20 years ago. She also made a transfer document giving the land to my late mother and me. I paid the taxes. We're overseas and no one is interested to do anything. I only could sign a copy of the document. Can I get the copy transferred to me? And I just realized the property is in my great mother's name. Okay, but the grandmother got administration. The thing is, because the grandmother got administration and never transferred the property to herself, that administration is dead. So I'm going to want to talk to you to get some more information to see if we need to go back into grandmother's, great-grandmother's estate, then grandmother's estate. So it gets a little bit more complex than that. So this is why I'm encouraging my listeners to try their best as possible to try to sort out the land situation, because now you're telling me about great-grandmother, grandmother, which means mother is there as well. And you, so it's fourth generation, we're talking about the relation to this property. And that can be a little troublesome. So I'm begging persons to sort out as soon as possible. Try to deal with the estate within 3 years of death. Try to sort out the matters within 3 years of the person dying. That would help a lot. We can deal with the matters within 3 years of death and not wait until we are talking about great-grandmother and other distant relatives, because the longer we take it, the more persons who are interested. But at least I'm glad you found some documents. I'm happy about that. At least you found some documents and we can start from there. You haven't said where your mother is because you said there are papers transferring to your mother. But you seem to have a very good chain of documents, and that will help a lot. And I take the opportunity as well to encourage my listeners to protect your documents. Don't just leave them to chance, because sometimes a fire takes place, God forbid, or we have hurricanes. For all the documents you have, we have young people full of technology. Let them take a picture of them on their phone and email them to somebody. Send an email to somebody, and the documents will stay in the email. Send it to the children. Send a copy of your will. Maybe sometimes we don't want person to your will, and I can understand why. But the copy of the title, the copy of the tax paper, anything you have. And I also take the opportunity to talk to my older listeners, because too many of the older listeners are hiding information from the young people. And I have so many times I have clients calling to me from abroad to say, our parents died and we know they have property in St. Thomas. Can you find it for me? And I let them know that even though St. Thomas, when you look on the map of Jamaica, it looks like a little dot. It's not as small as it looks. So I cannot find your grandmother's property in St. Thomas, because St. Thomas is a big place. But a lot of times, all they have is a parish or maybe a district. They don't have any documentation, not even a tax paper to help to start the process. So I'm begging listeners, the older listeners in particular, my older, please let the young people know what is happening. Because the reality is that nobody will live forever. And what you are doing is that a lot of times, by the time the persons come to Jamaica, persons have taken away the documents, unfortunately, out of your house when you pass. So many persons will tell me when my mother passed and we went there, everything was gone already. Sad but true. Sad but true. So these are things that we have to make provision, let the children know what is happening, or the grandchildren, or the niece, or the nephew, or the cousin, or the little girl that you raised, or the little boy that you raised, and you want to get the property, let them know what is happening. And make a will and will the property to them. Or give it to them while you're alive. You know, I believe in that. I believe that the warm gift is better than the cold gift. But as I said, you have to be careful with that one. And I was reading something in China that happened in China last week. I saw it online where a couple, an older couple, transferred their property to their grandson as part of their estate planning. And the children of the grandson turned out the parents out of the property, saying it now belongs to their son. And even in the cold, the parents were begging them to just stay there and listen. And they told them no, they are selling the property because they're going to buy some luxurious property. Not just in Jamaica, that happened in China. So sad. So I'm begging my listeners, sort out your matters. But as I said, I've always said, transfer to the children, yes, but as part of your estate planning, keep a life interest. To grow a brown for life and after death to peace and for keep a life interest so you have yourself and at least have something there to protect you. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15. It's here. It's there. It's everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. OneSpotMedia.com.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today. Here's your opportunity to get in those questions, those issues, those concerns, and whatever other questions you have for Attorney at Law Gloria Brown. Now would be a good time. Here are the numbers once again: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions: 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. 908-992-8283. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered at 30 inside 39 shop 39 at the intersection of let's see. This is Land Solutions, the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company at Suite 39, Winchester Business Center. That's where they are, Suite 39, Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office in Ocho Rios, Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. And they continue to encourage us to call ahead instead of turning up or before turning up. Call ahead. The numbers 876-908-1950 or 876-908. All right, so that number just went out. Help Attorney at Law Gloria Brown. Remind me of the other office number. I got 908-1950. Yes.
That's the only one that works right now, because I'm told that because of the lane of the different 5G network, a lot of the lines have been damaged. Yes, so 908-1950. They call that. They'll also get a cell number that I don't have. We have 2 cell numbers now, but I'm not up on them. So persons can always call me at 387-3183. We're having telephone problems in the entire Winchester Business Center.
Oh Lord, hope those problems are resolved sooner than later.
Thank you, Dervan. Really hope so too.
Okay, over to you.
Thank you, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
And listener just sent a message. They wanted an explanation as to what I meant when I said the letters of administration died with the person. So when a person gets a grant of probate or a grant of letters of administration, and that person does nothing with it in terms of you have not completed what you were employed to do. So a person appointed John as executor, and John got the grant of probate, or the person didn't make a will and John applied to administer the estate, and John did not complete the process. So John did not transfer the property. John did not transfer the property to the beneficiaries and did not finish what John was supposed to do. If John should die, and there was a will and John probated the will, if John should die, then John's executors can also probate John's will and the executor can continue the process. So Peter appointed John as executor. John got the probate and died without completing. John appointed Thomas as executor. So Thomas can deal with John's estate and Peter's estate. Fine. But if John has got letters of administration, and that's what I said earlier, if John has got letters of administration in the estate, and John got the letter of administration and did nothing with it, it dies with John. You'd have to go and get letters of administration again in the person's estate. Which is why when you get these grants, you need to finish the process. So John dies, appoints Peter's, John dies and does not make a will. John's son applies for letters of administration in John's estate, and the son dies without finishing the process, without transferring the things to the beneficiaries. You're going to have to go and apply for a letter of administration in John's estate again. We call it letters of administration, the phone is not. You have to apply again in the estate. So those are some of the things that we need to be mindful of. We need to be very, very careful about how when we're doing these things, we need to try and complete it. The text line, remember, is 876-387-3183. Good day. How can one prove squatters' rights and not be held as a licensee to a property which is deemed as family land? what makes you a squatter to land if you were put there by the owner. Well, when you're a squatter, you really should not be there with permission. You have to show that the permission expired. So one thing with squatting, you're not supposed to be there with permission. And family fine. But sometimes you have persons come to my office and they will say, Miss Brown, I wanted to get a title from because I live on a place in downtown Kingston. And I'm the one paying the taxes. And when I start questioning them, I realize that it's a tenement yard. There are 20 families there. Even though they are paying the taxes, they don't have any right more than the others. So that's one of the things when it comes to squatters' rights. You must be there solely. So you can't be there with other people and think you can get the property you are alone because you are paying the taxes. And a lot of the persons who are in some of these buildings downtown and in the inner city, and I guess in other places other than downtown. Why persons can't sort out those properties because as a people sometimes we're not united because all of them could come together and sort it. One person wants it because they are the ones who are there first and they are the ones paying the taxes and it doesn't work like that. So you'd have to, yes, so that this person. You have to show that the person was in their soul without permission. Open, you can't be hiding and squatting. Quiet, nobody, okay? Undisturbed. I remember I said at the beginning of the program, for disturbances that you need to start an action in court against the person. Undisputed, no dispute in relation to the ownership. So sometimes it's difficult to prove the difference between the licensee and the squatter. But it's for the evidence that comes forward. Because remember, when you do these applications for title, the application will go before a referee. That's what we call the persons. You have referees, and they've never had a female one. They're all male. A referee of titles who will look at the application and decide whether or not it should be approved. And then if the referee approves the application, because referee, a lot of times they reject the application and say, no, you are not entitled to ownership. You need to go and administer the estate of your grandfather or your father. Or you need to go and deal with their will because you are not entitled as the sole owner to the property. So they're going to look at the abundance of evidence. You might show, good evidence is that you might show that you have a house on it. And build a house on it. That will show that you are more than a licensee. If this person have allowed you to go and build a house on it, that's evidence of ownership. So they look at a lot of different, a lot of it. They look at the evidence that you present and determine whether or not you are entitled to ownership based on the right as an adverse possession claim or squatter's rights, as we want to call it. A number of things. So you don't just go in and say, hey, I want a title and get it. It's one of the most difficult processes in the conveyancing, in the area of conveyancing or land law, getting a title of a property, which is why a lot of attorneys don't do that, don't do the applications, because most of these applications are rejected. They are not approved because it's not an easy thing to prove ownership to property. And remember that these laws were written at a time. These laws were written at a time when the aim was for the average Jamaican not to be able to get a title. So the laws made it very, very difficult because this legislation was passed in 1889, the Registration of Titles Act. And I always said, I think it was made particularly difficult so that the average Jamaican would not get a title. Because when you have title and land ownership, then you could vote. And the aim was for the average Jamaican not to be able to vote, and land ownership was so tied up in terms of voting, which as I've said before on this program, is why George William Gordon encouraging people like Paul Bogle and Thomas, encouraging them to own land because he was the member of parliament out there and they could vote and he could help to improve their lot. And the aim was for people like Paul Bogle not to have a voice and not to have a vote. So the whole land ownership in Jamaica is tied up in a lot of challenges really, because I said before as well that remember that when slavery was abolished, the aim really was for when slavery was abolished, all these people were let out from the plantation. These slaves were just let loose with no land because the land was already shared up for these squatters really who came and squatted, or these squatters from England. They were already give a lot of the land. And then when they let off these slaves from off the plantation, like how you let off cows to pasture, there was no pasture given to them. Just a few of the free villages that, like for example, Silico and others made provision for people like this Cyberville for persons to be able to buy small portions of land and created free villages, and many of them in St. Anne as well. But the average person was a squatter. Because every corner you look at, if you look at the tithing situation in Jamaica now, you go into a place like Clarendon and you pull a title. When you look, there's a title for 2,000 acres given to some persons who just came from England, was rewarded by getting land in Jamaica. So everywhere the slaves went, they were squatters, maybe just in some mountains and where the maroons went, that nobody wanted. Which is why sometimes you say, well, people go and give on some of these places, you drive to some places in Jamaica, the marginal land that they got. So squatting is something that is, that is a part of our history. So sometimes those of us who are so privileged, it's easy sometimes for us to be able to look down on our noses and talk about squatters, because we have had the benefit of a good education and a good income and can buy, but it's not something that's going to go away, because the reality is that it's getting worse. The average Jamaican cannot afford a piece of land. It's getting worse because the land is getting so valuable. Which is why I'm encouraging persons to protect the family land so that the young people can get a little piece, because a lot of them will not be able to buy a piece, and see how we can best deal with that kind of a situation. But there are land challenges, and land challenges don't seem as if they're going to be going away. And we're having too many land conflicts in relation to families, relatives. Too many problems when it comes to relatives and land. And I'm encouraging the older generation. You can stop a lot of this problem by making wills and ensuring that persons know exactly what is there for them. Land might be small, you might have to cut it up and just give John a house spot, but at least he knows where his piece is. So he will not be at war with his sisters and his other brothers, or his sisters might not be at war with their brothers. That's what I'm encouraging my listeners today. About the land situation, make the will, send me a WhatsApp message, 876-387-3183. All you have to do is say title, and I will know exactly what you want. 876-387-3183. And I'll tell you exactly what you should do. And everybody call a surveyor today and survey your little piece. Those abroad, go online, sign a commission land surveyor, survey your little piece. And let us start the process for you to build a title, so that a lot of the conflict can be out of the way. I want to thank Dervan as always, and as I say, the condolences again to Alan Marcus' family, and to the family of Dennis Morrison, and to the families of all the others who were lost on the weekend and in the past few weeks. Thank you so much for listening to Land Solutions as always. And remember, we have an office in Ontario, and it's on the Jamaica National Building, Shop 6. We also have an office in Harper. Just give me a call, 876-387-3183, or a WhatsApp message, and I'll try my best to respond. I want to say thanks again to Adrian and to Dervan. Have a good afternoon.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30. All you'll ever need to know about agriculture in the 21st century, packed into one program. Farm Talk with Arthur McKenzie. Farm Talk, showcasing cutting-edge agricultural products, services, and practices. Farm Talk, keeping focus on issues affecting the farming community. Farm Talk, stimulating discourse to propel agriculture as a national tool for development. Farm Talk with Arthur McKenzie, the farmer's best friend.
When I listen to you in the mornings and the way you interview people so that us as farmers can really understand it, break it down, it's really powerful.
Wake up to Farm Talk, weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. on Power 106 FM and the Power 106 FM app.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. On the heels of today's edition of Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all pertaining to the sale and purchase of land, that's the program, Land Solutions. And it's every Monday from 2:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon. Right now, though, we want to hear from you. We want to hear more from you. We've been seeing your messages popping up. Would love to receive your calls as well. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Donovan Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Good day, Donovan. Asha Ash says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, watching from London, UK. Good information on the show. Thank you, Asha Ash. Natalie Winter says, good afternoon, Dervan. Looking quite handsome today. You're very kind, Natalie. Big up to all Power 106 family members and friends. Also, condolences to the RGR Gleaner family members on the loss of a legend. Irreplaceable, writes Natalie Winter, who goes on to say, gone, but will never be forgotten. Always in our hearts. Rest in peace, says Natalie Winter. Other messages that have come in since the last time we checked. Jessica says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Wishing you a blessed week. Thank you. Same to you, Jessica. Angela, who is obviously not returning home to Canada. She says, I'm in no hurry to go back to the freezer. And she's having a good laugh at, couldn't be our expense, somebody else's expense, perhaps. Anyway, good to know you're spending such a long period of time on the rock here in Jamaica, Angela. And if you don't want to go back to Canada, that's fine. We have more than enough space for you. All the best. Hubert Fowlin says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, both sides of the story, and Power 106 FM. And where's the rest of that message? And Power 106 FM and your listening audiences. Thank you. And Steve in Toronto, Canada says, Angela, I heard that you guys are experiencing a cold front. Temperatures will go to 28 Celsius. And Angela goes on to say, Steve McDonald, we're getting rain at times. Can't speak to the cold. Can't speak to the cold front thing. Quite warm for me. Listen here, behave yourselves. This is a family show. This is a family show. Listen here, behave yourselves. This is a family show, right? Between you and Angela. Steve, behave yourselves. Anyway, Jacqueline Simmons says, good afternoon, blessings to you too, Jacqueline Simmons. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. Let us give God thanks for another new week. We are together again to learn new things. Thank you for your message, Faye Weller. Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, viewers and listeners. Good afternoon, Inez. Faye Weller says, I'm here listening. Good to know you're listening. And Valerie Weller Carr, say Kerr, Kerr. Some people pronounce it as Kerr, others say car. So I went to school with a car, as in someone called Kerr. Anyway, so it's Valerie Weller Carr Peck. Good afternoon, kings and queens. Good afternoon to you, Valerie Wella Carpeck. Keep those messages coming in. We're taking your calls on 876 365 3346. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Let's check out the other WhatsApp messages. Luke Williams commented. Luke Williams commenting on the photo we took some time ago with Alan Magnus. He says, great photo, Dervan. Well, we had to play our part and in conveying condolences and just doing our best to celebrate the work and cherish the memory of the late Alan Magnus. We continue to convey condolences and to wish for all the best for the family, and no doubt he'll continue to inspire many more of us because his work precedes him. We go now to Rohan Johnson of Atlas Ocho Rios. He says, big up yourself, Sir Malcolm. It's Rohan Johnson from Atlas Ocho Rios clocking in. Another Monday to the #1 talk show program on daytime radio. You're very kind, Rohan Johnson. Andrew Davis says, Teacher Malcolm, good afternoon. Mark me present for class. It's a privilege to be a student. Thank you very much. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Do you ever see a Siamese twin yet? They always join together. So when a PM says he loves the poor but hate poverty, what is he really saying? Because they go hand in hand. So what is he trying to say? Asks Horace, otherwise known as Spider. This one says, hello, Dervan. St. Kitts is 68 square miles. Recorded its second murder. See details. When I was there in 2014 and 2015, for 5 months, there was a murder each month for such a small population of 40,000. The per capita murder touches the community. Well, we hope those conditions will improve, notwithstanding the fact that they are far ahead of us in terms of as far as crime and violence are concerned. And this one says, blessings to you, Mr. Malcolm. Keep up the good work that you're doing. I'm very proud to be a Jamaican from the UK. We appreciate your message. Thank you very much. And all the very best. Good afternoon as well to Alfonso Grenell of Grenell's Driving School. The series continues. We're now in the year of Crash No More 2024. It's time again for another in the series of defensive driving workshops. And this one is scheduled for Tuesday, the 27th of February at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, 81 Knutsford Boulevard, Kingston 5, facilitated by Alfonso Grenell, the award-winning Alfonso Grenell. So that's the information so far. Thank you very much for sharing. Keep those messages coming in. Yeah, Miss Evadne is sending us a message right now. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and all in class. Hope all is well. We're having rain in Manchester, where I am. Lots of love to all, says Miss Evadne. Always good to hear from you, Miss Evadne. Thank you very much for your message. And let's keep in touch. 876-922-4113 to 5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So it's our opportunity to pay our tribute to the late Alan Magnus, and we will play that song that we have come to know and love and recognized as Teddy Magnus. So it's Alan Teddy Magnus, if you didn't know. And let's listen to Alan Teddy Magnus now.
Weather is fine, clouds have gone by. I go up in the air, waving people goodbye. With my flying machine, I go up, I go down, I go round and round and round. I can fly with the bird, I can float with the wind. I go up in the air, I can dance and spin in my flying machine. I go up, I go down, I go round and round and round and round, yeah. People on the ground, gathered all around to admire. There's a feeling inside me that gives me the urge to go higher. But I know what goes up must be eventually wrong. So I won't take no chances, man, I'm having no fun. In my flying machine, I go up, I go down, I go round and round and round and round, yeah. People on the ground, gathered all around to admire. There's a feeling inside me that gives me the urge to go higher. But I know what goes up will eventually fall. So I won't take no chances, man, I'm having wrong. I go up, I go down, I go round and round and round and round.
Alan Teddy Magnus and his flying machine. The late Alan Teddy Magnus. May his soul continue to rest in peace and light perpetual shine on him. And to his family, friends, colleagues, well-wishers, fans at home and abroad, take courage. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:46 on Power 106.
I've been hearing about this constitutional reform thing. You know anything about it?
Yes, constitutional reform is a chance for us to Jamaicanize the constitution. But how? Enough things changed since 1962, and we've matured as a nation. So modernizing the constitution will reflect our current societal values.
Oh, a constitution for Jamaicans, approved by Jamaicans.
Are you ready for the journey? Join us on the road to Republic. Think independence, think Republic.
is time for us to understand the cane plant and the energy and how it is the best converter of energy, the sugar cane. Where is the understanding? We don't have any understanding. I've been in the industry all my life and we don't understand not even a quarter of the cane plant.
That sounds like quite an indictment on all those who have ever graced that industry.
It is an indictment. Look at it. The two at the University of the West Indies, 2 sugar factories operated there. 2 sugar factories operated on the site, on the 5,000 acre monarch garden. What is there to show our children how the clean plant work? This tomato at the back, how many leaves, the direction of the holes in the back of the leaf, why it and the cassava plant is the best conversion of energy. There's nothing to show, no practical demonstration, and it pains my soul. Thank you.
Let's take you out of your pain right now. We have to go. We're going to wrap. Thank you. Thank you very much for your readiness to share your thoughts, ideas, and suggestions here on both sides of the story, especially this afternoon. Thank you. And all the very best. Good. So we thank you very much for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 5th of February, 2024. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day, opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Bye.